Ben Affleck's recent transformation has caught the public eye, signaling a potential shift from his typically disheveled appearance. The actor was spotted looking unexpectedly put together while grabbing coffee with his assistant, Gigi Fouquet.
So Ben Affleck is determined to make sure his messy divorce with Jennifer Lopez isn't going to impact his new movie. You've heard of Unstoppable, right? He also doesn't want it to prevent his ex from getting the praise she deserves for her performance in the upcoming flick. Sure, that sounds like a bit of a mixed bag of a statement, but bear with me, folks. The actor rekindled his romance with the on-the-floor singer back in 2021, and then fans were heartbroken when JLo filed for divorce in August of this year, following the months and months and months of speculation that their 2-year-long marriage had crumbled. And if you've been around for a hot minute, you know what I mean when I say months and months and months of signs. I think I've still got a Google alert for JLo. Despite the pair still working out the terms of their divorce, they have been forced to forge ahead on a professional level because they worked together on this film. They worked also with Ben Affleck's best friend, Matt Damon. So on Sunday, Ben Affleck broke his silence in the wake of the split to praise JLo's spectacular performance because, and I quote, he is adamant about keeping things civil. We've got a statement, folks. Ben wants Unstoppable to be a major hit, and for JLo to receive as many accolades as she deserves for it. Sure, that insider source isn't totally just a PR person disguising themselves as a bestie leaking insider scoop or anything. Ben doesn't want the relationship ruining any buzz for the movie and her performance. He wants it to stand on its own. Translation, he's commenting on it now to maybe avoid getting asked about it 1,000 times during press. But the insider continues, he knows that he's going to be asked about Jen during media appearances. Wow, I'm a psychic. He's adamant about keeping it very civil. He truly believes she nailed it. Ben's a filmmaker and an Oscar winner. He knows what works. He always thought JLo would be incredible. Okay, enough with the scripted nonsense. Now, there's another source that's claiming that Ben Affleck, which, by the way, his daughter Violet, still very close with JLo, is aware that any comment he makes about his ex is undoubtedly going to make headlines in the coming weeks, and his family's going to see it, but he has no plans to elaborate. Ben obviously has a lot of loose ends to tie up with JLo, but he's proud of her performance. He also knows how much weight his comments have, and if Ben says his ex-wife is good, then she must be good and people will watch the film. This is the first and only thing he has to say about her split, and well, that's all he's gonna say. Great, glad we got all that out of the way. Now the source did add that Ben and his producing partner know better than any that attempting any sort of avoidance tactics isn't gonna happen. Make no mistake about it, this film was a huge investment for Ben and Matt. They can't not comment on a star's performance when they're in a lead role in the film they produced. So yeah, okay, fair point, I'll give them that. The 1 point you get, sir. The 2-time Oscar winner made the comments, by the way, in an interview with Entertainment Tonight. He was joined by Damon, and he said Jennifer is spectacular in the role of Judy in the sports drama. Other than that, Ben Affleck's been staying pretty quiet in the wake of the marriage breakdown. But JLo did give new insight recently. I think it was a sit down with Nikki Glasser for Interview Magazine. She described her heartbreak as sad and scary. Now, I don't think she named Ben by name, but she did say she's not looking for anybody right now, and she did suggest that her ex did not embrace all of her flaws. It happens. Now, if you want to break down the relationship timeline, I got you. So in April of 2021, there was reports surfacing that the two were reconnecting. So this was right after JLo broke up with Alex Rodriguez, you know, the baseball star? So the couple confirmed their relationship on Instagram that July, made their red carpet return at the Venice Film Festival, and then they exchanged vows at the Little White Chapel in Vegas on July 16th of 2022, because nothing says romance like Vegas. So after Ben Affleck moved out of the $68 million mansion he shared with JLo and into his own rental bachelor pad in California this year, a lot of friends were worried that he might relapse because of the strain of such a public split. And news outlets did report at the time that JLo turned to Jennifer Garner, Ben's last wife, for help because, well, she could offer advice. So we got Bennifer 1.0, Bennifer 2.0, folks. Keep track. So Ben was reportedly upset by the news that people were worried about him relapsing. Yeah, he tried to avoid reading the news, but it did upset him because folks thought he relapsed, but he hadn't. There was a source that was very adamant saying that, like every addict, Ben just woke up with one goal in mind: to stay sober for that day. Apparently the tough fallout from this split helped to show Ben how important it is to never jeopardize his sobriety. And you know what? All the props to you, pal, for keeping up with it. It's a great thing. Now, it's not unusual once you break up with somebody, you're gonna go for a bit of an image change. You're gonna go for your glow up. But apparently JLo is taking Ben's glow up a little personally, and I'm gonna elaborate why, because it does make sense. So Ben's been spotted out and about. He's had this like noticeably darker hair, noticeably darker beard, and a lot of folks are like, oh, did you like dye your grays? Did we get some touch-ups going? Apparently he's also looking buffer, you know, he's looking great. And the makeover kinda got JLo feeling offended. Why? Well, she's infuriated that he's only started looking after himself now that she's not around to reap the benefits. There's one insider that was like, yeah, he's going out of his way to pamper himself, look his absolute best. He's, dyeing his hair, he's getting manicures, he's getting waxed, which like, okay, props to you, buddy. He's even getting hair plugs and seeing a dermatologist. Well, he wants to get skin treatments, he wants to turn back the clock. And J-Lo is seeing red, because these are all the things she wanted him to do when they were together, and he said no. Like, this isn't just like a little day trip to the salon. Apparently he's having like a whole lifestyle overhaul. Which I know, we're all gonna miss the Dunkin' photos. But apparently Jem was begging him their entire relationship to take better care of himself. So now she's feeling kind of wounded because it's like, oh, he's just doing this for revenge. Apparently even his diet is cleaner. He's cut out a ton of junk. And J-Lo's like, yeah, this feels like a slap in the face. It's sending the message to her that she wasn't worth making these changes for. But now that he's single and he's looking to impress new women, he's willing to like step it up. He wants to stop being such a slob. And like, yeah, I'm sure she loved him even though he was a slob, but she wanted him to be his best self. Despite the divorce not being completely finalized, Ben has already been linked to other women. I think he was spotted with JFK's great niece. But apparently, he's saying this whole thing isn't like just to get a new woman. He's insisting this had nothing to do with J-Lo. He's just getting back to his old self. He felt micromanaged in the relationship. He grew tired of trying to impress her. He's tired of living up to her standards. Now he's taking advantage of the freedom to do what he wants. But the irony is, now that she isn't telling him what to do, he's realizing she wasn't entirely wrong. Ben wants to look and feel his best. He's looking to get on the dating scene. And J-Lo's watching all this unfold with a mixture of frustration, disbelief, because she just wanted him to be his best self. Especially since they both exist in the public eye. It makes sense. It bothers her to see him making all these improvements, knowing that somebody else is gonna benefit from the effort that she helped inspire. Now obviously her inner circle is just like, look, he's a middle-aged fool, he doesn't deserve you. But obviously she's gonna feel a little hurt. How is she cheering herself up? Well, retail therapy, can't go wrong. She's spending an outrageous amount of money on a variety of things. She's also beefing up her entourage, which means, sure, surrounded by a million friends, but then you're spending triples because if I go somewhere, you're all coming with me. I want people around me to tell me this, that, yay, yay. There were news outlets that did report that she's throwing around money like she's a billionaire. She's not. According to news reports, J-Lo was spending $100,000 per day for a while on designer clothes for herself and her entourage. And look, I get it, spend your money, but $100,000 a day is a lot of money. And the way she was hemorrhaging that money, it's kind of madness. Sure, she says it makes her happy, and I get it, the dopamine from retail therapy is great, but look girl, you're worth $400 million, and if your financial team is kind of worried about your spending, then it might be time to spend a little less. Think about it, she's got this divorce to settle, which could cost her $50 million. She needs a new home, and yeah. Well, that's all for today folks, see you next time.